welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing as it helps out the channel, and give this video a like if you do like it. So this is a review for A Pest in the House, released on the 2nd of August 1947. It's the 502nd in the series, and it's directed by Chuck Jones. Because of copyright, I can't show this cartoon, but you can see this on the Golden Collection Volume 5 DVD set and on the Platinum Collection Volume 1 Blu-ray set. I have links below on how to purchase those. And again, because I can't show you the cartoon, I'll just give you a very brief synopsis. So a very tired man arrives at a hotel managed by Elmer for some rest and relaxation, but due to a labour shortage, the bellboy that was hired, well, it's Daffy. And we all know how loud and obnoxious he can be, well, at least at this point anyway. So with me today to discuss this absolute classic cartoon is my good friend, Blue Genocide. Say hi.
Believe it or not, guys, I'm not going to say that this cartoon is overrated because I really like this one.
It really is good. It's one of Chuck's best of this year. This may end up being my favorite Chuck Jones short of the year so far, but we still have a few more cartoons to go. So just a bit of trivia first before we dive right into it. So the title of this short is a play on A Guest in the House, which was also the title of a movie from 1944. And from my research, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong here, but the name of the hotel, which was the Glam Hotel, it's a play on the Grand Hotel, which was also a movie from 1932. Now here's a weird thing. The tired businessman's room number is the evil 666 number.
Or anything.
Yes, sir.
Take this gentleman to suite 666.
And in a very eerie coincidence, that movie I mentioned before, A Guest in the House, there was also an alternate title for that movie called Satan in Skirts. So really, really weird how that 666 number plays into this one. But notably, this short marks one of the few times that Arthur Q. Bryan plays a character other than Elmer. So here he plays two characters, and Mel Blanc plays, of course, Daffy. So he plays more characters than Mel Blanc, but Mel Blanc gets the credit. Another notable example was Arthur Q. Bryan playing Dangerous Dan McPhoo in the cartoon of the same name.
Hello, everybody.
And what?
Yeah, so like you're like me, you definitely like this one. What are your thoughts on this cartoon?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that the premise is just perfect. It's something that would be riffed on a lot in the future. I would say that a good example are like a lot of SpongeBob cartoons where the whole premise is SpongeBob doing something and then like Squidward getting punished for it. Like, it's a very common cartoon trope, and it works really well here, as even though Elmer deserves none of the physical abuse that he gets throughout this short, it's just really funny. And some of the gags, like, you know, especially one of my favorites is when Daffy says, "Oh yeah, no problem, I'll get rid of that inebriated canary."
Don't stir yourself, sir. I'll muffle that inebriated canary. Nobody knows.
That just kills me every time.
Oh, it's fantastic. And the funny thing about that scene for me is that you think, oh, Daffy's going to take his job seriously now. I mean, he's going to do the right thing. But no, he gets seduced by the alcohol. I do wonder what they were drinking, though, to get so drunk so quickly. Must have been some pretty strong stuff. But,
well, they're gargling it.
Yeah, as well. And I mean, for me, the very beginning where, you know, he just gives all the luggage to this guy who, I mean, how long was he staying to have that many suitcases? And
I think they say, like, he's a traveling businessman, so that's, like, all his, like, you know, stuff he sells. I think that's the idea. Yeah.
Sure, but even then, that seemed a bit overkill. But anyway, it's fine because it made the joke even more funnier. But there's one point, and I will obviously show it as we're talking about it now. If you look at Daffy when he walks past towards the businessman's room, there's actually a very small door, which implies, do they have mice staying at this hotel too? I mean, is this like a precursor to that horrible Tom and Jerry movie that recently came out? I don't know. It's really, really weird. But yeah, such a funny cutting. Any other funny moments that you...
Well, there are a lot of moments, but I have a little bit of a thing I noticed about this particular cartoon, if I could bring it up right now.
Sure.
Well, as we all know, it's been debated a lot about how Elmer evolved from Egghead. And it's always been said, no, that's not technically true, because technically both characters kind of existed at the same time. And there's this bit of information, or like an explanation from one cartoon, that Elmer was actually Egghead's brother, right? In like one piece of like promotional material. Well, with this short in particular, I noticed that Elmer is wearing like his Egghead outfit. Chuck Jones used to like to use it a little bit in the earlier shorts. But I noticed something with the other character, the bigger businessman, how he's wearing a very Egghead like hat. And as you know, there was a few cartoons in the early 40s, namely like Wabbit Trouble, where there was a fat Elmer that looked a lot more like Arthur Q. Bryant. So because both characters kind of coexisted at the same time, it's kind of interesting that Chuck introduced, the regular Elmer that we all know, bigger, fatter character that kind of resembles the fat Elmer wearing at least one piece of the Egghead's outfit from the previous shorts, and Elmer is in fact wearing the classic Egghead outfit. I'm not trying to say that this was intentional or anything. I just found it kind of funny, especially with how both characters are voiced by Arthur Q. Bryant.
Sure. I think it's just coincidence.
Oh, absolutely. It's just this funny like nut job conspiracy theory,
Sure. It's not your nut job conspiracy theory, is it? Or is it? Dun dun dun. But what's notable here as well with this with the businessman is that, as I mentioned before, it's voiced by Arthur Q. Bryan. If you want to know what he sounded more like in real life, that was pretty much it. As I confirmed with my good friend Keith Scott.
Just one more thing. I'm a tired man. I gotta have my sleep. Plenty of it. So see to it that I get lots of peace and quiet. Because if I'm disturbed at any time, I'm gonna bust you right in the nose!
Just to slowly wrap this one up, I mean, I love this cartoon, and I'm giving it a 9 out of 10, because no matter how many times I've seen this one, I'm just cracking up laughing. Just how amazing and perfectly timed the gags are, and Chuck, of course, is coming in on his own. What say you? What would you rate this one?
Probably about a 9 out of 10. I think this is one of his most solid cartoons as of yet. I really like it when Chuck does a lot more of his slapstick than necessarily his verbal humor. I think that sometimes it can be a bit much in trying to sound smart. I kind of find that with a lot of Chuck cartoons, but this cartoon is one of my favorites, especially from the earlier years.
Absolutely. And I do have to say one more thing, though. I wish it was easy to get a promotion like Daffy did at the very end of the cartoon, where it's like, okay, you're hereby promoted to be manager, and of course he still gets knocked out anyway, but it would have been so much easier. But just wrap it up. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not serious at all about what I just brought up. I just thought it was a fun coincidence.
Oh, good. Oh, good. No, I don't. Look, you may be Canadian, but you're not a crazy Canadian much.
No.
So in any case, guys, that'll do it for this one. So thanks very much for listening, and until next time, take care.
Woo, whoop.
Noisy little character, isn't he?